I'm Dave Dana with Seasons on the Fly, and I'm going to be tying a variation of a John Luke's carp fly with the new SOF UV cured glues and adhesives. I don't remember when John came up with this pattern. We'd had a dry spell on getting the carp to eat, or we're having a tough time, and he came up with this pattern kind of as a slump buster out of the clear blue. I don't know what made him think of tying it. I don't know why they eat it, but they do. His pattern worked really good. I just tied a little different variation of it. And you can do some underweighting on this. I tie mine without any weight. I tend to fish tank tips or clear sink tips when I fish this fly. John used to like to weight his heavily. We're going to use some just plain old black hare's ear dubbing. So we'll need some turkey flat, and then Coachman brown or a dark root beer colored saddle hackle. Flies extremely easy to tie and very effective. And then we're going to use the thick UV coating down the back of the fly. But you need to lay a lot of thread down underneath it to keep it from rotating. And then we'll start off by cutting just about a 1/4 inch wide strip of the turkey. Lay it down off the back of the fly. Just let it stick straight off the back. You'll then tie in your saddle. And the webbier the better on this. And we're not going to tie it in tip first. We're going to actually tie it in butt first. I want it to be tapered from the fatter of the back, skinnier in the front. And the most magical dubbing wax ever. Start at the back, and you're just going to do not even closely looped. It's basically you're just covering the hook shank is all you're doing with here. So you could probably get by without using anything on the hook shank, but makes the fly a little more attractive to the fisherman anyways. And you're just going to take the saddle, you're going to do pretty close wraps. You're just going to palmer it forward. Palmer is just 1/16 of an inch, if that, between wraps. I mean, a standard carp pattern, the carp woolly. I can't remember if Beefus tied it first or Whitlock. Yeah, I'm not sure where it came from, but probably I think it was maybe Beefus. It's just kind of a variation of it. And with a lot of flies, with a shellback, you'd trim the back off. Not with this one. You're going to take and pull that turkey flat straight down the back of the fly. A couple of quick wraps of thread right there. Swamp donkeys are not complicated fish, but it's more about presentation, I think, with them than anything. I'm just going to trim that off real close. And I have here the telescopic adjustable focal point UV lamp. It is not the same lamp that comes in the kit with the two smaller bottles. It's another little small battery operated UV light. If you're just starting out, it's a great way to get into it. This is a little bit more expensive lamp, but it's comes sold by itself, and we're going to be using the thick. Because, like I said, it comes in. Well, I didn't say. There we
go. And that light is more expensive, but it's as cheap as you'll find for
right.
quality.
Yeah.
Right.
You want me to say that?
Yeah.
This light is a little more expensive, but it's as cheap as you're going to get for the quality and the actual intensity of the UV beam. You're not going to find another one out there like it. We're going to be using the thick adhesive today. It does come thick and thin. Viscosities are a good distance apart. Those of you that have tied with UV glues, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of them are like water, and then their thick is really like middle of the road. It's not super thick. It's hard to build fast with, and these are both at great viscosities for tying all kinds of patterns. And these do have the ball applicator tip on them. You know, I prefer to just use a bodkin or whatever I have sitting around to apply it. On a fly like this, where I'm going to be using quite a bit to build the back of the fly up with the thick, it's a little easier for me to control the amount I have coming out and then applying to the back. So you're going to put one layer on, you're going to hit it with the light. I like to cook mine pretty hard. I think really the carp think this is probably a crawdad is what I'm imagining. I mean, you can tell right away, in fact, when you're using this, the hardness of this in this little short time frame versus any of the other stuff that's available on the market, nothing compares to it. It's instantly hard and tack free. There is no tack to it at all. I mean, it's unbelievable. Because those that have been tying with a lot of UV glues know the frustration of tying a fly and then seeing that one errant, thread or piece of material get attached to the back. You can't get it out. It's stuck in the surface tack of it. It's stuck in the surface film. It's stuck in the tack on the back of the pattern or the head or whatever you're tying, and super frustrating.
Why are you putting so many coats on?
Even with the thick, you're building up like an actual clear shell back. It's very buggy looking when you look at it from the side. It looks very insect-like. It gives it kind of a 3D effect as you're looking at the materials down through it. That's plenty there. Yeah, like I said, it's an extremely simple pattern that's very effective for carp. On those days where they might not eat your standard fare.
I'm gonna spin it so we can see that heart back.
And you see as I bring it around, it gives it like a 3D effect. The turkey flat really has a lot of variations of color in it, and it really stands out as you go through the back of the fly.
Cool. What do you call that?
I don't think John ever called it anything.
John Luke's
Just,
carp fly.
yeah, it's just a John Luke's carp fly.